And welcome back to another episode of the Benchwarmers. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Brad Bain. Bainey, good to be back talking BLG footy.
Good to be back, mate. It's been a long 2 weeks. I've
Yes.
been hanging out for this, and we had a lot to look forward to as well over that week off. The Div 12 Resi's game, and you played a reasonable game, but we don't need to cover that because that has been covered well enough. But in the Barossa, we've had a good look at all the teams now. They've all had a good look at each other, haven't they?
They have, which is exciting because that ladder really can start to take shape. And there's some results that are quite surprising this week that are going to be interesting to dissect as well, Brad. I'm looking forward to getting into that. Looking forward to a feel-good fill-up. 2 weeks without the fill-up. Don't know what to do when I'm missing that. So looking forward to that. We've got to thank our major partner, the Exchange Hotel, for their support of the show each and every week, along with all of our supporters of the show. Thank you, all the sponsors, fans, everyone that gets behind us. We appreciate it, and we love the feedback each and every week, Brad. But we do have to get into the fill-up because it's an exciting one. So we're going to have a quick break, thank those sponsors, and come back with that. Yeah, thank you to all of our sponsors. Looking forward to getting to the Feel Good Fill Up. Before we do, Brad, we've got to thank Rejuvenate Sports and Remedial Therapy, Brad and the team down there. Wonderful job. 10% off if you mention the Feel Good Fill Up as well. Brad, talk to me. What do we got this week?
Been a long 2 weeks, Chook, and I've been hanging out for this one. It's been a miserable 2 weeks until you get back with an instalment of the Feel Good Fill Up. So sorry to everyone at home that's been waiting. This week it goes to Damien Hoff and the Adelaide Oval Turf Solutions team, Chookie. Over in the US and the Caribbean, the T20 World Cup is currently happening. And the Aussies, we've got them on toast. And we've also got them on toast with our grass growing ability, Chook, of the turf pitch variety.
Yep.
That they love our grass over there in the US, Chook. The US, they reached out to Damien and his team about growing the drop-in pitches because they didn't have any experience in it. And it's cold over there. They didn't know what to do. So they reached out to the best, and Adelaide is the best. They went over there. They grew them in Florida because it was too cold up in New York, believe it or not. So they've grown... The snow, yes. Grass doesn't grow very well there. So they've grown 10 drop-in pitches down in Florida, driven it all the way up, 2,000 kilometres, all the way up to New York to get the T20 World Cup up. And Damien and his team, they've saved the day. They've got brilliant pitches, and hopefully we get to see Australia go all the way as well.
Yeah, well, that'll make it more, even better. You'd think Australia should be used to the conditions that they're producing with their wickets as well. So, well done to the team, and great to see South Australia and our experts recognised on the international stage, Brad, as well.
Absolutely, mate. It doesn't get much better than that, and I'm really proud of Damien and the team.
You are very, very proud South Australian you are at the moment, Brad. I can see it beaming on your face. We're going to have a quick break, come back and have a look at the BLG footy. Yeah, again, thank you to all of our sponsors. Let's have a look at round 9 of the Barossa. It was the round that marked the halfway point of the season, Brad. As you said, we'll talk about the ladder a bit later on. Let's have a look. Game 1, the Tigers, first win of the year. Gawler Central, 13-14-92, defeating Kapunda 9-8-62, 30-point victors, the Tigers.
That's right, Chook. Bottom of the table clash, this one. Kapunda still yet to get their first win on the board, but Gawler Central, they were happy as Larry Saturday night for their iPod Shuffle night to celebrate in style as well. Gawler Central, Ryan Williams, best on ground. Bell and Koff, 3 goals. For Kapunda, it was Watke best and Rankin 3 goals. He keeps hitting the scoreboard and obviously damaging in the midfield as well. Chook, as we said, Gawler Central first win of the year, 6-11 to 3-2 at half-time. They certainly came to play a little bit complacent potentially after the half, with Kapunda kicking 6-4 to 3-2 in the third quarter. They had Gawler Central on the edge of their seat, but they steadied the ship in the last quarter.
They did. Fantastic to see. Great win for the Tigers. They needed to win one just to relax the shoulders a little bit, and had a good night on Saturday night to celebrate as well. So well done to the boys, but now pose the question where Kapunda are at, and the competition, it's not looking too good. So we move on, Brad. Plenty to learn from there for those two teams. Second game, called it last week. I think we both did call this one. South Gawler, 4-10-34, defeated by Tanunda, 9-16-70. the Pies, they might just be the team to beat in the Barossa at the moment.
We were warned at the start of the year by
Yes.
Trent Gers. He did warn us all, and as it sits, Tanunda are top of the ladder. So they are flying. They couldn't be doing much more at this stage. For South Gawler, Pat White was best on ground. And no multiple goal kickers for South Gawler, Chook. The first time since the 2022 grand final, that cold, miserable, muddy day at Angaston versus Newry, was the last time that South have not had multiple goal kickers in a game, if I stand corrected. So if I'm wrong, correct me, whoever's behind the camera. But that's a big
That
stat.
was a good day.
It's a shocking day. One of the worst days of my life. Worst days of footy. For Tanunda, Rune Guilfoy, best on ground. Plenty of intercept marks, contested marks across half back there. And Jared Traynor sneaking in for 3 goals as well, getting amongst it. Shay Linky, first game out for the year. I'm hearing work. I'm also hearing pleasure as well. So either way, he was away for a holiday. Either way, he didn't play for the first game this year, and he caught us off guard. So, but that's going to hurt his Schluter medal chances, that's for sure.
Well, I believe they still had 3 of their best players out Tanunda with that as well. So obviously we know South had a couple out, but Tanunda still had no Linky, no Sutcliffe, and there's one other very, very good player that I'm forgetting about at the moment. But they had that. I did hear on the weekend that Jared Traynor was copping some feedback on the prison bars from the crowd that keeps going the way he's going. They'll be prison brackets, not bars. But Jared continued. I think he kicked one about 2 minutes later and just gave it back to the crowd. So good to see one of the great men in the competition, JT, as well. So well done to him, Brad. Let's have a look at the next game. And it was Freeling 9-5-59 defeated by Barossa 14-10-94. Probably the result that we expect from these two teams.
Yeah, Barossa, they've been classy the last couple of years. Freeling, they've definitely improved on where they've been. This was a big game for Barossa, giving them some mathematical hope of keeping the season alive, but it's going to be still very difficult for them this year. For Freeling, it was Louis Green, best, and Inglis, 5 goals, if you don't mind. He keeps popping up. And for Barossa, it was Mazzone, best on ground in the midfield, with Harris up forward, obviously, with 3 goals. Carpenter as well, 2 goals, Chook. So they're still experimenting with him up forward, which I like. They're not just putting him back and playing it safe. They're sort of rolling him up. I believe he's playing a little bit at both ends, wherever he's needed. So if they could find 2 of him, they might be doing pretty well. He's a very handy player.
He is a very good player. The ultimate swingman.
Yes.
Big thing 10 years ago as well, Brad. So good to see from Jack there. And Barossa boys looking fit, Brad. You had him in here last week.
Yes, they're a great bunch of lads. Chucky had 30 of them in here.
Your second team?
Yes, they have been for years. I've been on them. So, always get a bit starstruck when they come in the gym. They're a good bunch of lads and, good to have them in. And they're looking fit.
They are. Good to see. Let's have a look at the last game. And this would have been, it was game of the round going into it. Yep. It would have been a fantastic game to watch. Angaston 7-14-56 defeated Williston 7-3-45. 21 scoring shots to 10. Angaston win by 11 points there, Brad.
It's a huge win for how the ladder's going to shape up this year, Chook. Whatever way that went, that was massive. So a massive effort from Angaston. I don't think many would have tipped that from the outside, but Angaston, they've definitely got some confidence internally, and they're showing it on the scoreboard. So Summerton, best on ground, and Shannon, 2 goals. Some familiar heads there, yes. Chooky stepping up when they need it. And Cormac, best for Williston, with Lehman, 3 as well. It was Angaston, all Angaston in the first half, 6-7 to 2-2 at half time. Williston in the last quarter, 4-1 to 1-2, but it was all too late, going down by 11 points.
Yeah, it was. They left their run late, and unfortunately, you can't. Momentum's a big thing in footy. Yeah. Sometimes you leave yourself with too much to do, and that's probably end up hurting Williston in the end. They're 2 very good sides. I must say, I thought Angaston, we talk about them each week, about them getting better and then being a good side and around the mark. I honestly just thought Williston were going to be too good this year. And with what we've seen of them, probably showing a bit of inconsistency in that early period. We know their best is good enough, but probably just a bit inconsistent at the moment, the Donnybrooks as well. So, interesting watch there as well.
It has actually kicked Williston out of the 4 as it sits at the minute. So Angaston have jumped in, Williston have jumped out. So it doesn't get much bigger than that. Now Angaston are essentially tied in 2nd spot. So if they didn't top that, they were 5th.
Absolutely. I like it, Brad. That's why you are our resident stat man here at the Benchwarmers as well. So we'll have a quick break. We're going to have a look at round 10 in the Barossa when we come back. All right, let's have a look at round 10 in the Barossa. Some big games this week, Brad. None bigger than Newry and South Gawler grand final rematch ×2. What can we expect to see on the weekend?
Chook, we will see a fiery contest in the best spirits. I'm sure we will, because South, coming off a loss like that, they will not be happy and they will not want to lose 2 in a row. They're a quality side, but so are Newry. I think I'm a mathematics man, Chook. I'm into my numbers, and I think Newry are probably trending just nicer than South. So I think they'll get it done. But I think South might come good towards the back end of the year when they get a few back in.
Yep, I agree with that. Emmanuel Era got announced last week. So
yes, massive.
Hopefully he should... Yes, he is. He's a big boy. So hopefully he should be playing very soon. He's fast. He's well-skilled. He's going to add some nice drive to South Gawler off half-back or on the ball, wherever. I'm not sure where they're going to play him. That's where he played at Sandford level. So that's going to be good to watch. But I'm with you. I think Newry will get the chocolates in that one. Game 2, Brad. Gawler Central taking on Freeling.
Big game, Chookie. We got 7th taking on 8th. Gawler Central got their first win of the year. Freeling sitting 2 and 6, so just above Gawler Central. I think Centrals, they've had a big week last week on and off the field. Off the field, they obviously had iPod Shuffle night. I think they partied maybe a little bit too hard because they're a good bunch of blokes down there. I think they'll be really happy with that win, but I think Freeling are going to hand it to them on the weekend. Yeah,
it's a hard one for me. That I'm sort of torn. I think maybe I want to tip Freeling. I think Freeling are the logical tip, but... Hoping there's some momentum for Gawler Central's out of last week.
Home game as well.
Home game. So I'm going to go with the Tigers and go with the Heart this week. And I think they're going to ride the momentum of last week and hopefully get this one done, which will be good to see. Next one, Brad, Tanunda taking on Angaston. Great game.
Another top 4 clash, Chook. We get treated on this show, Chookie. The year is shaping out fantastically, isn't it? So we got Tanunda 7-1, first spot. Angaston 6-2 on their tail in third spot, keeping that top 2 alive for them. I love Tanunda. They're flying at the minute. It's hard to say that. Not many do love Tanunda if you don't play for them. You love to hate them, but they're flying. They've got a lot of talent. Who knows who they're going to roll out on the park, because they've got players coming in and out every week. But whoever they roll out, they keep winning. So for me, it's Tanunda.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. Love the Pies. A lot of good people down the Pies. So I think they will get that done, as much as we love Angaston as well. Good people, both clubs. They'll have a great Saturday night after. Yeah. They'll all share a beer. Yeah. Good players from every club. Barossa taking on Williston. Doesn't get any better than this, Brad.
So this is a huge game to try to keep the top 4 spots alive. For both teams, mathematically, if Barossa win, they do keep their chances alive. Williston, if they slip, that could as well make it very tough for them. So Barossa 6th, 3-5, and Williston 5th, 5-3. There's a tongue twister for you. I don't think Williston will be happy with their performance on the weekend, Chookie, going down to Angaston. Similar to South, I think they'll come out with some fire in their belly, and I think they will get the Chockies over Barossa.
I do too. I think Williston will win, because I just think they have to. I think their best footy is good enough to win. Tell you what will be interesting. Expect a big week of rain. Heavy decks, Williamstown Oval.
Yes.
No one plays Williamstown Oval like Barossa do.
No.
That will be... Williston are a very fast, high speed, high run sort of team. If we get rain all week, how will that play into that? That'll be the interesting thing. I still think on talent alone they'll win, but could be a really interesting one.
That's massive, Chook. And it is, of course, the Williamstown Oval farewell tour potentially as well, with Lindock getting done up. So this will be the last time potentially Williston play there, and they'll want to go out with a bang. So I think they're still... Williston, they don't mind getting down and dirty as well. They're skillful, they're sexy, but they also don't mind the fight as well. So I think they'll have it covered still. Might be a low-scoring affair, though.
No, that is what I said. So looking forward to that as well, Brad. But... I think we say it every week, but we have genuinely been spoilt this year in the Barossa. This is probably... I mean, we've been doing this show for 5-6 years now. Yeah. This is probably one of the more interesting years that we've come across in our time. Yeah,
I think externally, people outside of the clubs, you probably still had South right up there doing it easy, Newry close behind, like you've seen the last few years. Tanunda, you obviously had the recruits, and there were some rumours that they might be reasonable this year, but God... It's got us guessing every week, and I love it.
No, it is. Can't wait to be back to dissect the footy again next week with yourself, Brad. Have a good week. Enjoy it. Make sure you do rug up if it is cold. We'll see you guys all next week or at the footy on the weekend.